Right, hello everybody. My name is Terry Wilkes. What we'll be doing in this brief lesson is learning the key concepts of A-level media studies. I will be talking about the course, its structure, of course, other things that you can be doing over the summer to prepare you for the September start. And of course, all my contact details will be given towards the end. So feel free to pause or carry on as fast or as slow as you wish throughout this session. There's a couple of activities. So at certain points, I'll ask you to pause the video, have a go at doing the tasks, and of course, send your work to me using my contact details that I'll give later if you want any feedback on your work, of course. And thanks to those of you that have already done that so far from the previous videos. Right, so the first thing I'm going to be doing is sharing my screen with you so you can have a look at my presentation. So here we go. So a big welcome to the subject. Obviously, you've clicked on this video because you're interested in media. Maybe you do it at GCSE, maybe at the moment you're not currently doing it, maybe your school doesn't currently offer it. But of course, media itself is quite broad. That's actually one of the main appeals of media studies, is that you are not necessarily just looking at one of the sectors of the creative industries. You'll be learning about several different ones, which we'll go into now. Our exam board will go into as well. So who am I? So I'm head of media and film. On the website there'll be a separate film for BTEC creative media. So of course, if you've clicked on this video by accident, please understand that this video will be about A-level media studies. Of course, we also offer A-level film studies, which Sophie, my colleague, will be doing a short lesson for. Feel free to check that out on the website. My email is there, twi@woking.ac.uk, and you can email me about any questions you might have about enrolment or the course, the entry requirements, or maybe looking at previous students' work. And you'll see a lot of me around the place as well when you, of course, start attending college. But as head of department, I often pop into classrooms making sure everyone feels supported, staff and students. There's my team. You can see we've got a variety of skills and backgrounds from industry, and so many, well-trained people that can support you in your day-to-day learning in our department. The course itself of A-level media studies is 2 years. There is no one-year option. It will be a 2-year option. So our exam board is EDUCAS. It's 30% coursework and 70% exam. Those 2 exams are each worth 35%, and they're at the very end of your course. Okay, so we spend most of our 2 years getting ready for those 2 large exams. It's an essay-driven qualification. The quality of English language in your assessment of work is very, very important. If you struggle with English language at GCSE, this course will be challenging for you for sure. It doesn't mean you can't do it if you find essays tough, but do know that, of course, it is a written-based qualification. We'll be looking at advertising, the television industry, the film industry, radio, the history of radio and where we are now with podcasts and the popularity of those. The gaming industry, and not just console driven, we're looking at all types of gaming these days, esports, as well as, of course, handheld consoles, mobile gaming, and the print industry, so newspapers, magazines, commercials as well we'll look at also. Your course will mainly set up, the first 6 months of the course set you up for the first exam. At the end of course, the second year, as already mentioned, that's called Component 1. And there's 11 products for you to learn in Component 1. Then we spend the last couple of months of year 1 and the first couple of months of year 2 attempting the coursework. So you do get some practical elements to it. That's worth 30%. And you will choose your project to, of course, investigate, plan, and actually produce yourself. And then from December until the end of sort of February or so, or prepare you for the second exam. And then from February half term all the way to June, which is when your final exams will be in the year 2022, we'll, of course, focus on nothing but those 2 exams. The coursework will be finished, and it allows us then to move on to exam-based skills, looking at lots of past paper questions, and of course having classroom discussion with how different people might approach the tough questions. Course material is pretty simple, to be fair. Simple kit, pens, pencils, a notebook, lined paper to take notes during lessons. Some lessons we'll use our Media Studio for, so that'll be mainly lecture based, where I'll be going in depth into a certain topic. Some form of data stick is good, so USB, 8 gig, something like that. You can pick them up on Amazon. Pair of headphones. Be aware, AirPods are okay, but of course you can't plug those into the computer, so something with a 3.5mm jack is ideal, as well as maybe any AirPods you might have. Some sort of folder to keep all your notes in, and then those of you, when you're doing your practical, to have your own SD card is excellent, because it means that you won't, of course, be sharing SD cards with each other, where someone might by accident delete footage. So that's all you need. That's all you need. Everything else will be given to you. Key concepts of media. This is really the point of today's lesson, to really look at these 4 main areas. Everything we look at in media studies looks at one of these 4 things. And of course, if you've never done media studies before, this will be a really useful 5 minutes for you, I think. First thing is something called media language. Now, what that covers is it covers things like visual, audio, and technical codes. And you see I put codes in block capitals there, because that's the term that's used, something you'd expect to see. So I've got pictures on the right there. They're not there to look pretty. They're there to sort of indicate the variety of codes you see in a newspaper column compared to a music video, compared to maybe a gaming box, maybe then, of course, a podcast. These different conventions vary from product to product, and it's your job to recognize which conventions have been used in these products. The next key concept is the audience, not just who they are, but who the stereotype is that, of course, are being targeted to look at this product. So, for example, the image on the right of the young lady driving the kid's electric car, look at the colour of her hair. It's very unconventional. So straight away, that is attracting audiences that like to be unconventional themselves. People that aren't mainstream, people that don't want to follow traditional lifestyles and maybe the way they present themselves. So she comes across instantly quite rebellious, maybe a bit of a kid, but doesn't mind being called that. And that's why she's driving the kid's electronic car. These are the sorts of things we're looking at. We'll also look at what type of audience are mediated, and which can be maybe targeted to really appeal in terms of getting as much money out of them as possible as well. So paywalls, downloadable content to different media products. The third key concept is representation. So by this, in a product, for example, a news story, we'll look at maybe how different age groups have been represented positively or negatively, how different genders, male and female, different ethnicities, of course, very topical at the moment with the George Floyd and the Black Lives Matter campaign going on. How is that being represented in a variety of things such as newspapers, maybe magazines, even video games from now on, music videos without a doubt, and TV commercials also. And then you've got issues and events. How's an issue or an event affected, that's happened in real world, affected how a media product's been designed? And the last key concept is industry, or possibly ideology that some people call it. And that's basically what influence has the actual owner of the product had on it. So for example, if you're a large conglomerate such as Disney or Sony, money isn't really a problem. So it allows you to go out and get the best CGI people, the best cameramen, the best actors, the best marketing people. But then again, independent sectors have different audiences. So they don't look for very expensive products. They look for products that create social change or create debates. Every different sector has a different regulator as well. So you'll need to be learning with me in the classroom about what rules they have to adhere to. So the TV and radio sector have Ofcom, the BBFC regulate film, for example, PEGI regulate gaming. These are the types of things you'll be learning about with industry and ideology. So there's the 4 key concepts. That is a very, very important slide that I hope you could at least go away and look at these key words. I haven't covered them all because you've got time to pause the video and have a look at what all these words mean. And of course, in the classroom, we'll go into far more depth. What I call this MARI, okay, so media, language, audience, representation, industry. Just taking the first letter of those, just MARI is what I refer to several times during the week, and really try and highlight to students in year 12 which of the 4 areas we're looking at when we're looking at a certain product as a class. Okay, moving on. So this is the first time that you could probably pause the video, because what I want you to do is I want you to go to a couple of music videos, please. Vampire Weekend, who are a small signed band to a tiny record label called Excel Recordings. And they have a video called Cousins. So if you go to YouTube and just type Cousins Vampire Weekend, watch the music video. What tells you, so as a genre convention here, what tells you that it's potentially low budget? What tells you that maybe what's appealing to their audience of that type of music? And how are they being represented as four young men within that music industry? So pause this video, go to YouTube, type Vampire Weekend Cousins, watch the entire video. You've probably never seen it before. It's very unknown. And then make notes, possibly, on the genre conventions of that type of music video. What maybe top 2 or 3 things do you think are appealing of that music video, and how are they being represented? Okay, so hopefully now you've done that. The second video I would like you to look at is Ed Sheeran's Shape of You. So again, go to YouTube, watch the entire video, and then of course Ed Sheeran is massively mainstream, is what's regarded as mainstream in the industry. He appeals to 90% of people in our world, I would say, especially a UK or US audience. What in that video shows you that maybe a bit more money's been involved, that maybe more people have been involved behind the scenes. What about the type of camera work, the post-production? What editing effects do you think have been put on there? Who do you think the video has been based on? And again, what appeals then to fans of Ed Sheeran in that video? Is it the fact that he personally appears in it, possibly? Think about his role in the video as well, and his relationship with that young lady. And then how are relationships possibly being represented? How is the female being represented? I don't want to give too much away, but it's a very interesting representation of the female throughout that music video. What's your interpretation of it? So at this point, pause the video and have a go at analyzing, doing it what we call a visual audio or a textual analysis of Shape of You. Good luck with that. Okay, so hopefully now you've done your 2 music videos. We're now going to have a look at 3 very different products for you to have a look at. And again, 3 new words for you to investigate. So I've got 3 clips here. One where Simon from the Inbetweeners receives his first car. Then we've got Reggie Yates from the BBC documentary, BBC 3 Teen Gangs documentary. And then the TV advert. It's quite dated, this, but a McCoy's Crisp advert in the pub. So all you've got to do is YouTube search those. Just literally watch a short 2 or 3 minute clip of the top 2, and then just the 30-second advert of those. And then I want to talk to you about these 3 key words in these columns. So the first is mise en scène, French for within the scene. It just literally means what clothing, what background, what props have been used to help create an atmosphere within the program. Lexis is what language has been used. So there's some bad language in Inbetweeners, but that actually appeals to, of course, its youthful audience. But what Lexis? Are there any slang words? Is it formal? So, you know, very, very almost posh speaking. Is it very, very relaxed? Is it an awful lot of colloquial language being used in these 3 items? And then, of course, the mode of address. Is it direct? Is it indirect? And again, is it formal or is it informal? Direct mode of address. Is the camera being recognized? Do the actors or the people on the screens recognize that the camera's there? If it is, it's direct. If they don't, it's indirect. And then with formal and informal, informal is very relaxed, almost like you would talk with your friends or your family, whereas formal is that, yeah, a studio environment or anything like that. So if you can watch those 3 clips, or don't worry if you can't find exactly the print screen that I found there, just watch 3 short clips of the 3 different things there. Add your comments to these columns. You can do this on paper, or you can print screen this into Word. I really don't mind. And that should take you anywhere between probably 10 to 15 minutes to do all 3. Just bullet point notes is fine. Good luck with that task. I'd pause the video. Okay, finally, just to sort of close the lesson out, I hope you enjoyed looking at those 2 music videos and 3 different sectors of the television industry there. Great books to buy. Educast, our exam board. I've got a new spec book that, you know, I don't get any commission by you guys getting these books, but they are written by your exam board. So I highly recommend you get them. Everything we talk about in the classroom will be in these 2 books. The first book is £23, and it's the only book that I'd recommend you get. It's just all the 11 products that we'll study in the classroom, and the exam board's slightly more detailed interpretation of them, which we'll cover, but also it just gives you some past papers in there and different terminologies you can revise from. And then the fairly new book, bottom right hand corner, you can see there is a specific revision guide, and that's £15. You can find these on Amazon brand new for that price you can see there, or you could of course shop on eBay if you want to try and get a second-hand one. I think they're worth every penny personally. I've even put the ISBNs there for you, so you can pause the video, write them down, and then type them in to Amazon or another online store if you wish. And the final thing is, you know, this really does conclude it. I was asked to do a 15 to 20 minute lesson, and we're approaching that time now. It does make sense for you to do as much preparation as you can over the summer. So I have a key information booklet that for now I've run out of time, but if you did want to get your hands on this early, drop me an email and I'm very happy to send this to your email so you can have a read of it over the summer break. You can also, of course, use the Woking College website to get more information on the course. And of course, you know, I really do hope to see as many of you in September as possible. Okay, so coming through now, let's have a look. Let's go back to the call screen. I'm going to stop sharing my screen with you. I'm still recording. So that concludes A-Level Media Studies. Again, if you've got any questions, get in touch with me. I hope that was useful. And it gives you a kind of taster of what we do in media studies by taking existing products, looking at how they've been created, why they've been created in a certain way. And then that allows you to understand how to make your own products, especially for that 30% coursework project. Okay, thanks very much for watching this video, and hopefully, as I say, see you all in September. Bye-bye.